You are listening to a Daydreamers podcast. I am the Daydreamer, Erin Davenport. Today, guys, I'm going to share a true moment with you. This happened a couple weeks ago. I wrote about it in my diary, and I'm going to share it with you. I'm sure someone out there listening can relate. Sunday, August 12th, 2018. I got harassed this morning on my morning walk. A man spotted me way before I saw him. I had on some headphones. I had on my husband's headphones. They're really nice. They're JBL. They fit over my ears. Now, my neighborhood does not have sidewalks, so I'm walking in the middle of the street, on the side of the street, or I'm walking in the grass. So I had the volume low enough for me to hear traffic, but it's loud enough to drown out any other noise right next to me. So I can't hear people talking to me. I heard someone yelling. I looked around to see where the noise was coming from. I saw a man shouting and waving at me from a gas station across the street. At this point, I am a good distance away from my house, from my safety, basically, my comfort zones. But I hear someone yelling at me. I look around. There's a man at a gas station across the street. He's waving. He's shouting at me. At first, I figured it was someone I knew. I often post about my Sunday morning walks on Instagram and Facebook and Twitter. After I make a post about my walks and how far I walked, I always get a message from someone saying they saw me out walking, but they weren't sure if it was me or not, so they didn't say anything. So I couldn't see who this man was. I just assumed he was someone that recognized me. I waved at him and kept on going, minding my business. Now, at this point, things take a turn. As I got closer to this man, I realized I have no clue who he is, and he does not know me. This is some fool trying to get my attention, basically. But you know what? It was a beautiful Sunday morning. Whatever. So now I'm crossing the street and I'm on the same side of the road as the gas station. He is in his car. He speeds across the parking lot so he can make it to the exit way the same time I do. I'm walking up on the exit of the gas station, so he's speeding up to it so he can get there at the same time as me. And I can see him grinning hard as fuck in his car. So at this point, I'm just like, okay, whatever. I'm still going to be pleasant. He stops his car to gesture me to walk by. Like, it's obvious he is not trying to be polite. He just wants to look at me as I walk past his car. Like, it's obvious what this is all about now. I make a gesture saying, no, you go ahead. I gave a half-assed polite grin because, I'm still just trying to be pleasant or whatever, although I know where this is going to go. He drives past me, and I start walking. So at this point, I walk behind his car. I'm going down the street. I still hear someone yelling. Like I said, I had on some good headphones that cover my ears. So you really have to be screaming for me to be able to hear you as I'm walking away from your car. I'm thinking to myself, just continue to ignore this man. He will get the hint that I don't want to talk to him, and then finally drive away. He doesn't. He keeps yelling at me. Like, he just keeps freaking yelling at me. And it's like, it just got to the point to where I was just like, I'm so annoyed. This type of stuff happens all the time. It doesn't matter where you go. Somebody's going to just try and hit on you, just try and get your attention, and you ignore them. And sometimes they get it, sometimes they don't. But like, I just was like, it just became too much. I have done everything I could to let you know I'm not interested in your ass or talking to you or you talking to me. But you are still yelling at me and I'm walking away from you, okay? So finally I just got fed up. I turned around. This fool's car is in the same place as he's halfway out of the exitway in the middle of the street, okay? And with his head hanging out of the window, grinning at me. Like, you are in the middle of the street, hanging out the window, grinning. All I saw was white teeth, okay? And now I have no idea what he was saying to me. I just know I didn't like it. It was too much. And he couldn't possibly be telling me to have a blessed day. Like, that's not what you were doing. So I pointed at him and yelled, do not disrespect me. Do not sit here and disrespect me. Like I said, I didn't know what this man was saying, but you're doing too much. You waved me down before you saw me. You tried to get me to walk in front of you so you could sit here and look at me as I walk past you. You're just yelling and yelling and yelling at me. Whatever you're saying is nothing nice. So do not sit here and disrespect me. Say good morning, say hello, wave at me, and keep on going, sir. Do not disrespect me. All the while, he is talking back at me. I still don't know what he was saying. But his body language was not saying, oh, I'm sorry, ma'am. Oh, excuse me. None of that stuff. Like, he's still doing whatever he was doing before. I said what I had to say. I yelled at him, don't disrespect me, all of that. I turned around to walk off. Once again, the headphones are on. I can hear traffic, but I should not be able to hear what you're saying. I may hear somebody talking like I heard him yelling, but I couldn't understand what he was saying. But as I'm turning to walk off, I hear him very clearly say, blah, 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 all that ass. I just freaking lost it. I stopped dead in my tracks, turned around, and let his ass have it. I was just out there in the middle of the street cursing this man. Like, fuck you, okay? Like, don't talk to me like that. Don't do that. I was just letting him have it. I lit into him. And I don't know, something just in me clicked. Just the disrespect. The disrespect is what I'm saying. And as I was cursing him out, he was still parked in the middle of the street and the gas station exit way, hanging out his window, grinning at me. Just the disrespect and you just don't care. Like, at this point, you ought to know that I don't want to have nothing to do with you. I don't want you talking to me. Like, I don't want your attention. Why are you still here? I was just so angry. I felt so disrespected. I lit into him. And then, you know what? There was nothing I could do. So I just walked off. Said what I had to say. Walked off. I don't even know at what point he drove away. I just walked off. I walked 5 miles that Sunday morning. I spent 2.5 miles thinking this whole thing was my fault. I spent 2.5 miles mad at myself for dressing the way I did, because that's the reason why he said something to me. It's because of what I had on. That's what I thought. I had on biking shorts, a workout tank top, tall socks, and my tennis shoes. Like, in these particular shorts, they're like a second skin, so they fit my body differently than my regular running tights. I feel like they kind of show my curves off a little bit more. I mean, all tights kind of show your body, but I feel like these really kind of just molded to me. And typically when I wear these shorts, I always tie something around my waist. Because it's just, I don't think it's bad. It just molds to me a little bit more than your other tights might. But this particular day, I forgot to grab a jacket or a shirt. And by the time I remembered I didn't have anything around my waist, I was too far down the street to turn around and go home and get something. And I actually went back and forth like, oh, let me go get a shirt. Let me go get something. No, I don't feel like it. I'll be all right. Like, I'm going to get some looks or whatever. But it's saying on me. It's whatever. I'll be all right. You know, I'm not going to do it. So after that, I decided to go ahead and walk back home to get a jacket to tie around my waist so that I won't receive any more all that ass comments. I know what I look like. I know I have big legs. I know I have wide hips. I know I'm cute, you know. I have enough sense to know that wearing workout tights and biking shorts would bring attention to me. But there was no need for the level of disrespect that was forced on me. Like, no one deserves that. Like, not once did I think that I was going to wake up and encounter that today. Not once. My Sunday morning long walks is my personal time. Like, I normally get up during the week and I run in the morning and stuff. But on Sundays, that's my personal time, like there I have my morning to myself. There is no rush to be anywhere. My family is normally still asleep when I'm up doing this and everything, so nobody's calling me, nobody's asking me about what we eating or when you coming back, none of that stuff, Like, I enjoy being outside, feeling the wind blow through my locks. I take long, deep breaths. I have one-on-one time with the Lord. I talk to him, I clear my mind. I don't take long walks to be sexually harassed by some grinning ass man in a teal Camry. I don't. I get so tired of this. This is the exact reason why I don't like shopping at Walmart, honestly. Like, I will go to Kroger's and Brookshire's just to avoid getting harassed while I shop for produce. Okay? Like, I'm just trying to get some cucumbers. Why are you all in my face? Why are you gawking at me from behind the apples, sir? I don't need it. That's why I don't go to Walmart. So I spent 2.5 miles mad at myself for letting myself get so out of character. Good girls don't act like that. You ought to be able to control yourself. Nice young women don't curse men out in the middle of the street in front of a major grocery store, gas station, and a church. People don't do that. Folks that got some act right don't do that. I spent 2.5 miles wishing I would have let it go and just walked away from it all. Just take it and go on. Don't pay this man any mind. Just ignored him and just kept right on going. I spent half of my walk blaming me and just upset with myself and how could I let this happen. But at mile 3, I was like, fuck that. You did nothing wrong, Aaron. You did nothing wrong, okay? You don't just sit there and take disrespect from people like that. He had no right to talk to you like that in that matter. He had no right to say those things to you. You stand up for your freaking self. You did a good job. You did a good thing for standing up for yourself because that was so out of line. And we take that stuff every day. I just did not want to take it. Like I said, Sunday morning walks are peaceful for me. I pray for peace in my life. And my Sunday morning walks, that's what helps bring peace into my life. I'm by myself. I'm just thinking. I'm singing whatever song I want to sing. I'm talking to the Lord. I'm thinking about my grandmother. I'm doing, thinking about my family. That's a peaceful time for me. And here your ass come in a teal Camry thinking you gonna talk. Oh, really? So yeah, mile 3, I was like, girl, get over that. Whatever. Nope. I was still pissed, still worked up and riled up. But I forced myself to calm down. Well, put a pleasant look on my face at least. I didn't want to be walking around my neighborhood with a mug on my face, scaring all the people that drove by, all the folks going to church, all the folks going to Brookshire's, all the folks out there walking their dog. I ain't want them to be like, who's this mad, crazy black chick? I listened to some podcasts, Jillian Michaels, Miley Teal, listened to some music, some Shaka Khan to calm me down, some Solange, seat at the table. I needed to bring myself down. But the other thing is, after I got my groove back and I started coming out, like feeling better and letting go some of the anger, I realized I actually spent like the whole time from the moment I encountered this man to the end of my workout, 5 miles. I spent that entire 5 miles looking over my shoulder. Like, even after I made it back to my house, in my driveway, leaning on my husband's car, getting ready to put my key in the door, I'm looking over my shoulder. I don't know this man. And I wouldn't recognize him if I saw him again. He knows what I look like. He's the one who saw me down the street. He knows what I look like. Hell, he even knows what my ass look like. He got a good look at it. Shit. And it wasn't until after I lit into him and was far away from my house that I realized he could do something to me. Like, he could have been following me. You just don't know what people are thinking these days. He got to be a fool to be hanging out of his car in the middle of the street hollering at somebody that clearly don't want to talk to him. Something got to be wrong with him. So now I'm scared as hell. I wonder where I can get a taser. I wonder how much tasers cost. I debated on telling Larry about the incident. I was laid on the floor doing abs when he came out. I asked him about tasers. And naturally, he looked at me crazy and was like, what happened? Something happened? What happened? And I was like, well, and I went ahead and I told him. And Larry didn't say much. He just sat there with a look on his face, a straight face. And he was just like, all right. He walked out of the room and he came back and he was like, where did this happen? And I was like, down there by the Circle K. He was like, okay. He walked out and came back and he was like, when did this happen? And I was like, well, you remember when I came home and I was like, oh, babe, yeah, I forgot my jacket. And he was like, I said, you were still kind of asleep? And he was like, yeah. I said, well, that's why I came home to get my jacket. And he just looked at me. He was like, all right. And then, to make matters worse, Nicholas was over our house that weekend. And so he happened to come out of his room in the middle of me telling Larry what happened. And his nosy self stopped dead in his tracks to hear what was going on. I took a long shower after my walk and my abs and stuff. I cooked breakfast for my family. I had an amazing cat nap on the couch next to Larry while he watched golf. Later on, I let out any remaining built-up aggression by telling off all those sorry men on Waiting to Exhale. That's one of my favorite movies, okay? I just love Lily Rashawn's character, and I love Angela Bassett's character, and I love, y'all know who I'm talking about, Loretta Devine's character. I think I like everybody besides Whitney Houston. Anyway, I digress. Anyway, so yeah, I let out any built-up aggression by telling all those men off in the movie. My rest of my day has been pleasant. I'm determined to put this behind me like I do with all the other incidents, I know this incident was not my fault, but I can't help but wonder, what could I have done differently? I'm considering buying some baggy gray sweatpants and some Hanes t-shirts, to protect me from the looks, stares, and all that ass comments. All right, people, that's a Daydreamer's Diary, August 12th, 2018. You can send me comments on all media platforms, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, or you can email me at adaydreamerspodcast@gmail.com. If you're listening on iTunes, please rate me. That is the only way they will know how fabulous I am, okay? So I see all the downloads. Thanks so much. But please rate me, okay? And I see all the streams on all the other podcast platforms and everything. So you can download and stream the podcast on iTunes, SoundCloud, TuneIn, and now Spotify and Stitcher. You can also subscribe to the podcast YouTube channel. So if you rather watch instead of listen, just subscribe to the YouTube channel, okay? So y'all, thanks so much for tuning in to A Daydreamer's podcast. I really appreciate it, okay? And I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.